I just bought myself my dream project car, a BMW 328i. But there's one massive issue. It's been abandoned for 7 years.
The BMW E36. Easily one of the best shapes BMW has ever made, and for me, a car I've always dreamt of owning. But with the prices of the E36 M3s going through the roof, the next best thing in line is an E36 328i. 2.8 litres, 6 cylinders, and an engine producing 190 horsepower, which in 1998 would have been insanely fast. Even these now, for a good conditioned example, are selling upwards of £8,000. So when I got offered to buy this one for a fraction of the price, I said yes. But there's a catch. It's been off-road and abandoned since 2017 and hasn't been started or driven since. Time has definitely took its toll on this car. Everywhere you look, every panel you see has mould or moss growing from it. I'm just hoping that underneath all of the dirt and mould, this car is savable and the engine still runs.
Here we go. A 1998 BMW E36 328i. This has been a dream car of mine for a long time, but recently these have skyrocketed in price, and for a decent one you're looking minimum £8,000, and for how good these cars are, I can actually understand why. This one is going to need a bit of work though.
And I don't think anyone is going to believe me when I tell you how much I paid for this E36 328i. But at the moment, I don't know what the underneath's like, I don't know how bad the exterior is, and I also don't know if the engine actually starts. So I think it's best if we take a closer look, and I'll let you know how much I paid a little bit later.
There is literally moss and mould growing all over it. I don't actually know what the underneath is like. I'm pretty sure it's going to need some welding, but this is a project that I want to take all the way to a show slash track car. I think we should go club sport with this, full respray in some insane colour. I've got huge plans for this car because I've always wanted to build one. But yeah, we've got, I think these are M5 wheels, and apparently if they're genuine, they're worth quite a bit of money. But as you can see, we've got literally dirt and mould growing out of this car, and the best bit about it is I don't actually know if it runs. With it being sat for 7 years, I didn't want to take the risk of starting it. I don't know what the oil looks like, I don't know what the fuel looks like, so I haven't tried to start it, but I'm hoping I can get it running in this video. All 4 tyres are completely flat. That is why it took so many people to push it onto the driveway. This door doesn't open. The battery is of course completely flat, and great, the battery's in the boot on these and it's flat. Maybe I'll have to crawl through and try and pop it from the inside. Interior is actually, at the minute, the best bit about this car. It doesn't look that worn. The bolsters have only just started to lose a bit of colour. The seats all work. It is of course a 5-speed manual. That is why I wanted one of these so bad in manual, because they're just far better. But yeah, we've got leather seats. This is a sport as well, which is like the one down from the M3. I'll tell you how much at the end of this video I bought this car for. I want people to guess in the comments. But the interior, it hasn't gone mouldy. It's actually in pretty good condition. There's a few bits that I'll probably change, but yeah, the interior is pretty nice. Now the engine. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a M52 engine. It is a inline 6-cylinder 2.8 litre engine, and it produces, I think, about 190 horsepower. It is naturally aspirated, and these, I've been told, are pretty good engines, especially on track. They're very reliable and they rev nice and high, and they're quite pokey. The only problem for me is I have no idea if it actually runs. I've been told it did run when they parked it up But that was 7 years ago. The oil is probably really slushy and horrible. I'm not sure if or what the fuel lock's like in it, and I didn't want to risk trying to turn it on and damaging the inside of this engine. So I think the first job to do is actually see if it runs. Before we do anything bodywork, I want to know if the engine runs. If it does, then I can rest easy at night and we can carry on with the rest of the car. If it doesn't, well, we're going to have to fix it. So I think first job is check the spark plugs, see what condition they look like. Let's crack on.
So if you guys are excited to have a proper build back on the channel, then hit that subscribe button below, because this is going to be epic once it's finished. But we've got a long way to go. So I'm going to take the engine cover off, which will reveal all 6 of the coil packs. Now I can take those out, which will then give me access to be able to get the spark plugs out. And I've just got to hope that these aren't in really poor condition.
Oh. Well, I was expecting that to be a lot worse, and they are NGK spark plugs as well. Yeah, I was expecting them to be, I don't know why I was expecting them to, I was expecting them to be wet for one, because I'm assuming this is going to need a rocker cover gasket. I'm going to be certain that it's turned from rubber to plastic, but they're in pretty good condition. Let me check the rest, and then we'll get the jump pack on here and try and turn it over. Of course, I'm going to check the oil beforehand, but as spark plugs go, they're not bad.
So I'm going to remove the other 5 of them, and luckily they were all pretty much in the same condition, which is really good to know. It means that this engine was pretty healthy when it last ran.
They are not in the best condition, but they're definitely far from the worst I've seen. I don't see why they wouldn't allow the car to start. So I'm going to get all 6 of them back in the car. The coils, you can't really tell if a coil's gone bad, but they're not covered in oil at any of the ends. I was expecting things to be a lot worse, so I'm going to get all of them back in the car, and then I'm going to check the oil, and then maybe I need to just go and grab a jerry can and put some decent fuel in it, because again, it's been sat for 7 years, so I don't want to run it on fuel that's just been sat doing nothing. So we'll get these back in, check the oil. As long as the oil's okay, we'll put some fuel in it, and I'm hoping we can start it.
So back in go the 6 spark plugs, and of course the 6 coils. Then I can check the oil, which to my surprise wasn't as bad as I thought. Although it's not great, it's definitely not awful. Now I'm going to put some fuel in the car, as I don't really want to run it on the 7-year-old fuel that's left sitting in the tank. And once that's done, I think I can try and start it.
I'm actually excited, man. If this starts, that's it, the project is underway. Right, let's give it a go. Ready? Nothing. Try boost again. We've now got no power. Whatsoever. Try it again. Nothing. Okay, I think with this one we're probably better. Has it got speed? I think we're probably better trying to jump it. Oh my god, the boot opens now. Wait. That's definitely not been opened in a while. Oh my god, look at all of that. I mean, a good thing is it's not rusty along here. Look at the BMW official tools. Check that out. Right. I think the best bet is to try and jump the battery direct. I'm so thankful that that's just opened. What in the world? Oh, these are proper old school bits and bobs.
On this car and a lot of other BMW makes and models, the batteries are located in the boot for weight distribution. So now I've got the boot open, I can take off this plastic cover which will give me access to the battery. And once I've got access to the battery, I'm hoping I can jump it directly from the power source.
Right, there we go, we have got access to the battery. So, I think we're going to have a much better chance if I jump it off this. But for some reason, here we go, we're alive. We're alive. Have we got power? We've got power, are you ready? It's close. It's turning over. That was close. Come on. Let's try again. Come on, BMW, come on. Oh, it's getting close. It's getting really close. It's gonna go. I've got a feeling it's gonna go. Come on. That was really close again.
But no matter how many times I tried, it just didn't want to start. It's good news that the engine's turning over, but I need to find out why it's not actually starting.
This one. This one. Don't want to go, does it? I can't tell if that's spark or not. I mean, good thing is the engine is turning over, like, it is turning over. Why is that not starting? Why is that not starting?
Still no luck. The engine just didn't want to fire. So I think to give it its biggest chance of starting, I should go and grab 6 new spark plugs and also grab a brand new battery, because that is probably not helping the fact that the battery is completely dead.
1 new battery, 6 brand spanking new spark plugs. I think this is going to give us the best chance at starting this engine. So I'm going to quickly switch out all 6 spark plugs, install the battery, and I'm going to try again.
Luckily, spark plugs for this car are really cheap, so it just makes sense to change them anyway. At least with that, I can tick the spark off the list. The same with the battery. They're not too expensive for these cars, and it's another thing that this car's going to need to get back on the road. So by doing this, I'm hopefully giving the car a bigger chance at starting and replacing all the old broken parts. And now the spark plugs are in, I can take out the old battery, replace it with the new one, and I think we're good to try again.
1 new battery is fitted and 6 new spark plugs are installed. Shall we see if it's got power on its own? If there's any point where it's going to fire, it's going to be now. We've got power. Ready? Please, come on. It fired and then stopped. Come on. Just don't want to go, does it?
And attempt after attempt, the car was doing the exact same thing. But then, I noticed something.
I've got a theory. If you look at the dashboard, the ignition's on and it's reading that it's got no fuel at all. If I turn the ignition off and you listen behind my head, I can't hear a fuel pump. I can't hear a fuel pump at all. I wonder whether the fuel pump's knackered. Let's test it. I think this is the first time this door's been open in 7 years. You ready? Oh, did you hear that? Okay, so while I strip this rear of the interior, it's probably worth mentioning that buying any second-hand car is always going to come with its risks, especially one that has been sat for 7 years. But luckily, I've got a way you can reduce that risk, and that is with Car Vertical. That's the rear bench. Out. Now, Car Vertical is the #1 used car history checker, and I've used it to buy pretty much all of my cars, just to give me that little bit of peace of mind that I'm not buying one that's been involved in mileage fraud, in an accident, it's not been stolen, and it's also not got any outstanding finance. Right, I think the fuel pump should be under this one. If not, there is one. Yeah, there's one there. In fact, what side's the petrol cap? Is it that side? It's going to be that one, isn't it? Oh well, I'm here now. When I was buying this BMW, I ran a Car Vertical check, and as you can see, it showed me that this has no outstanding finance, it's never been involved in an accident, it's not been stolen, and that is what made me go ahead with the purchase, even though I'd not actually seen the car. Now, if you were on the market for a BMW E36 328i, I've found a report here that shows you one that you don't want to see. There is a financial and legal status amber warning, there is a damage warning, and it's also had quite a lot of owners. So this is probably one that you don't want to buy when you're looking at getting a used car. I can't get this screw out. You're ready to see that this isn't the fuel pump. Yeah, that's not the fuel pump. It must be that one. Now, this car was made and manufactured in Germany, with it being a BMW. And luckily for me, even if this car was imported from Germany, Car Vertical covers over 40 countries when it does its history checks. So you don't have to worry that if anything's happened in another country, Car Vertical is going to find out and tell you. So if you want to minimise the risk when you're on the market for a used car, then I'll leave the link in the description for Car Vertical. And if you use the discount code Jesse20, you can save money off your check. And trust me, it is going to save you way more money in the long run by doing a check and finding out if there's anything actually wrong. Right, let's get this fuel pump out. Okay, we now have the plugs for the fuel pump. I'm assuming one of them is a constant voltage and the other comes to life when you actually turn the ignition on. So I'm going to get the ignition on, and I've got my multimeter, and all I want to know is if we have power going to these plugs. If we have, then we've got a problem with the fuel pump. So on that one we have 11.1 volts going to the fuel pump, and on this one we have absolutely nothing. So I think if I was to turn the key, there we go. Okay, so good news, the wires going to the fuel pump are working. So next job, remove the fuel pump and probably just get another one, because clearly that isn't working. If there's power going to it and I still can't hear it priming, it's most likely seized just from old age, sitting in there and doing nothing. So hammer, flathead screwdriver, get the fuel pump out.
To remove the fuel pump, first I've got to take off the fuel line. This is the line that sends the fuel to the fuel rail. Now I can knock the locking seal anti-clockwise to loosen it, and I should be able to pull the fuel pump out.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a fuel pump.
And I think it's safe to say it doesn't look in the best condition.
We have ordered an entire new fuel pump and assembly. The reason I wanted a new assembly is because that clearly isn't working. It's all gone corroded, and I think it just makes sense to replace the entire thing. The only problem with that is it won't arrive until Friday. Today is Wednesday. So I guess we're not going to find out if this car is going to run until a little bit later in the video. But for now, I think this car is well overdue a proper good wash.
I'm about to wash off 7 years of mould build-up and dirt, so I'm going to start by going around the wheels with G101 and of course the rest of the car to hopefully break down all of the mould. These wheels are in desperate need of a refurbishment, and of course we've got to get 4 brand new tyres, but I thought I might as well wash them while I'm here.
I personally am a massive fan of how these wheels actually look. These are going to need a refurb, and of course we're going to need 4 brand new tyres. The back ones actually aren't too bad, but the front ones unfortunately have not passed the test of time. They've gone kind of this oxidised, weird kind of look, so we'll get those refurbed. But before I give the car a complete pressure wash, there's a couple of things I want to take off so we can clean behind them. The first one is the rear BMW badge, the second is the front BMW badge, and then I'm going to be taking the original number plates off. 1, so I can clean behind them, and 2, because I'm going to be keeping this car and it is a full build, I've got a little something special to go on. Let me strip the badges off, get the number plates off, and then we can start with the pressure washing.
So I can take off the 2 screws that hold in the front number plate, and of course the 2 screws that held in the back number plate. Now it's onto the badges. First the back, then the front, and now I'm going to snow foam the entire car to hopefully break down as much of that gunk, mould and dirt as possible. I think this one is going to be the most satisfying restoration / wash I've ever done. And now I've let that snow foam set for 5 to 10 minutes, it's time to blast this car off. So I'm going to start by opening the boot and blasting off all them years of build-up of leaves, dirt and mould, which was seriously satisfying to do. Now that's done, I can move on to the rest of the car, and all I'm trying to do is get it as clean as possible. I feel like no matter how much I wash this car, I'm always going to get dirt and mould leaking out of all of the little seams. But for now, the car's looking amazing.
Check out how good this car looks. It still hasn't sunk in that I literally own what is one of my dream cars. It looks way better with just what is only a quick pressure wash. It's actually looking like it's loved again instead of completely abandoned. I can't believe the difference in just giving it a pressure wash. The next job is now to go around with a detail brush and of course do a hand contact wash, just to get it looking the best we can. This window is also letting a bit of water in as well, so that's something we're going to have to get sorted. But for now, they're not massively important. I want to get it looking good, and then hopefully the fuel pump arrives and we can start the car. Right, let's carry on.
So I'm going to go around all the nooks and crevices of this car with some G101 and a detailing brush, bearing in mind that I'm not too bothered about the paintwork on this car because it's going to be getting an entire full respray in a complete different colour. And once that's done, I can now go around the car with a hand wash to try and get as much of that harsh dirt off as possible that the pressure washer missed. And I can't actually believe how good this car has turned out. It already looks 10 years newer.
It is already looking 100 times better. I've noticed a few imperfections with having done a full wash on this car, like the 2 rear windows, we're going to need a new driver's side front wing. This has started to bubble and chip, and I have no idea what has gone on down here, but we might as well get a driver's side and a passenger side. But looking around the car, I can't actually see a dint on it. If someone's noticed a dint so far, then let me know, but I actually can't even see one single dint on this car. It's actually in really good condition. And what we've got going on the front to replace the old horrible looking badge is a brand spanking new OEM BMW badge. So I'm going to install this how the other one was installed, which is a little dab of silicone on the badge itself, and then these push down into place. I mean, that's not even centered, is it? That don't even look like it's... Is this even for this car? That don't look right. Does it? It's completely off centre. Well, I'll have to sort that one at a later date. I have no reason why. That was literally from BMW, and for some reason the badge, it must have been manufactured wrong. Look from here, it's like it's dead loose, and then like it's not even centered. Right, hopefully the back one works. I'm not having much luck with this. Why does that not fit now? That looks better for now, at least. I'm gonna have to see if I can maybe order 2 more badges, because they don't really seem to fit properly. But apart from obviously getting this fully resprayed, the exterior is as good as I want it to be, except one thing. So like I've said, this has been a dream car of mine for a long time, and you already know that any car that I decide to keep always gets a private registration. So I've decided to go for J3 UHH. The reason I've gone for UHH is because of the condition that I got the car in. So this is the plate that's going to be going on this car. I'll install them for now, but of course everything is going to have to come off when we get the car fully resprayed. But for now, I think that was a pretty good suiting plate for this car. The J3 to match the plate on my Civic, and because the car was pretty disgusting. So let's get them on.
And as always, a massive thank you to Reg Plate King for always providing me with the number plates. If you want to get a set of these for yourself, you can use the discount code in the description to get yourself money off.
Okay, exterior done, badges done, number plates done. Interior isn't too bad at all. There's one thing left to do before we fit the fuel pump and try and sort this car, and that is the engine bay.
And if the exterior of this car hasn't been cleaned in 7 years, then I guarantee the engine bay is probably double that. So first, I'm going to blast off all the exterior bits with the pressure wash, and then I'm going to go around the engine bay with some G101, a light snow foam, and then tattle it with the detail brush, just to agitate all of that old nasty dirt. This should come up really, really good. And after I've done that, I can then blast it off with the pressure washer, of course making sure to not go too close to any electrical components, and the engine bay is looking brand spanking new. Last job to do for this engine bay slash bonnet is to change these old broken bonnet struts. You've probably seen me holding the bonnet up with the brush. Now I've got 2 new struts. I can take the old ones off and replace them with the nice shiny new ones, just so the bonnet is held up on its own weight. The left hand side is a little bit more tricky than the right hand side because there's a wiring harness attached to the strut, but once you unclip that, you can take the old strut off, put the new one on, and that is a job well done.
Safe to say, I think they have definitely seen better days. They were doing absolutely nothing at all, and now we've got 2 working bonnet struts.
Now I've just got to wait until tomorrow when the fuel pump arrives, install it and keep my fingers crossed that this engine starts.
And as if by magic, this is the new fuel pump. I'm hoping this is the correct one and this does work. There is a couple of little differences from this one compared to the old one. The actual pump does look a little bit smaller than the old one, so I do hope that this works, but I guess there's only one thing we can do, and that is try. At least if this isn't the right pump and we plug it in and it makes a noise, we know that that one is definitely faulty, and all I've got to do is try and find a direct replacement. But this one is the one that came through for the registration of this car, so I guess we just cross our fingers and hope that this is the fix to our problem. Let's get it installed.
So I'm going to drop the new fuel pump into the fuel tank and then secure it in place with that rubber seal. And now I've done that, I'm going to see if it actually primes.
The fuel pump is installed. I've loosely put on the fuel line and I haven't fully tightened it all the way down, just in case for whatever reason this doesn't work. But I'm going to plug it in, and what I want to hear is some noise coming from this fuel pump, just something. I'm not bothered what, just some sort of noise that we weren't getting from the one before. Let's plug it in and let's find out. Please, man. If it's not this, we've got a lot more diagnosing to do. You ready? Yes! It made a noise! Can you hear that? It must have already primed. That definitely made a noise, didn't it? That 100% made a noise. Try again. That sounds like it's working to me. Should we try and fire it up? Should we try and fire the car up for the first time in 7 years? Oh my God, I'm gonna be so happy if this works. I'm gonna be so happy. You ready?
7 long years that this key hasn't been turned in this car and this engine hasn't started. Let's see if it works.
This should turn on. This honestly should. There's nothing that says that this car should not start up. I can hear the fuel pump again. 3, 2, 1. It's alive! It didn't sound great, but it's definitely alive. Oh my God! Maybe it does need an oil change. That is the car's first start in over 7 years. And it has fired straight up. It was that fuel pump all along. It was just, well, broken. What a result that is. I really don't know what the fuel gauge is doing. Maybe there just isn't much fuel in it at all, but the car does, on the turn of a button, run. Again, it doesn't sound amazing. It's very... But then I've never heard one of these engines before. It just, to me, sounds a little bit tappy and a little bit... I don't know. It doesn't sound awfully bad, but at the same time, it doesn't sound really, really smooth. It just sounds a little bit... Then again, this oil's probably not been changed in easily 7 years. So, I think for now, we'll turn that off. What an absolute result. The car is looking amazing, and we now know that the engine is alive. Whether it's healthy or not, I'm not sure, but it starts and it works. So that is really good news. Whether it needs some work in the future or whether we need to do anything to the engine, at least we know that we've got a good basis to start from with it actually running. Now it's time to refit and sort out all the fuel pump and refit the seats and get everything back where it was, because hopefully we don't have to touch that fuel pump for a good while.
Now I can properly reinstall that brand new fuel pump. First job is to make sure that that locking ring is fully tight, because we don't want this fuel pump moving around while I'm driving. Then I can refit the fuel line. I'm going to use a Jubilee clamp to hold it in place, because the old clamp I had to break to get out. And once that's all done, I can put the lid back over the fuel pump, reinstall the rear bench, and that is the fuel pump reinstalled. And now it leaves one question, and that is, how much did I pay for this BMW E36 328i?
Well, what a great start to the project. As of now, the bodywork is in way better condition than I thought. The engine, although it doesn't sound amazing, is running and it does start. Which leaves the big question, and that is, how much did I pay for my abandoned BMW E36 328i? And I don't think anyone is going to believe me when I say it was £300. If you did enjoy this video, please like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
You wear a hat they call dad. Me, I'm the dad in a hat. You just like clubbing and clothes. Me, I like afternoon naps. 3, I be missed for the road. My oldest like counting racks. My middle one, she's in a dirt bike. My youngest is just like a mama. The mama loves me and I love her, so if she wants something, it's never a bother.